would you say Brennan's best attributes are?
Uh, Probably just staying with it. You know, the nature of this business, that's much of it. I think a lot of people give up along the way. It's not easy and it's time consuming, and you certainly get a lot more no's than yeses. The key is staying with it, and Brennan's really good at that. You can't, you know, one of my old sayings, I know Brennan will chuckle at this, is no, it doesn't really mean no. It just means not right now. So you just have to stay with the process, and Brennan's been very good at that.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on an AutoZone deal that we've tried to do since 2020. Yeah, maybe even before that.
Well, that's how Phil and I kind of met. I mean, we met through Brandy, but your daughter. But we worked on that deal at Greenfield. It was like the smallest deal that probably either of us had done. It was a pad deal that
right in the middle of the
financial crisis,
Great Recession.
Yeah, and what did it take? It took us like 2.5 years. I mean, it was still. I think I wanted to do the deal more just to be able to say I worked on an AutoZone deal, but he stuck with it. You know, he wanted to get the deal done. That's one of Phil's best attributes is, you know, he's been with AutoZone for so long because he doesn't try and, you know, jump into the gray areas and keeps everything, you know, clean and keeps the relationships good. So then we got Armando over here. So just so you guys know, like I mentioned, Santan Commercial Advisors, that's been Phil's brokerage, tenant repping AutoZone and you know, different automotive users along the way, relationships with QSRs. I know you guys tried to pick up the Raising Cane's account and, you know, just different tenant rep assignments when you look at the brokerage side. And then I started Hungry Investments going on 3 years. Are we 2 years in now?
Yeah, about
2 years in now, going into our third year, end of this year, 2024. And because of my relationship with Phil, as we were getting the development company underway, reached out to reconnect with Phil, and it just made perfect sense to partner up with Phil on the day-to-day stuff. So we do have other partners, but the four of us that you see here are the day-to-day activities that are done inside of our development company. That's us. So we're the ones that are pursuing the deals and putting stuff together, and we have other partners that help with financing, raising capital, different structures like that. So Armando's been with me
since the beginning,
since day one. I mean, I needed one person, similar to Phil needing Brennan, and you know, when Phil and I linked up, Brennan got into the picture and fit like a glove. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
That's what they say.
So Armando, why don't you give your side of the story of how you and I connected?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I started my real estate journey in the residential space, mainly cut my teeth in Tucson, working with a ton of investors, doing fix and flips, rentals, lease options, all in the residential single family space. Got to build a name there, met a lot of people that did a lot of deals. In my first year, I did about 60 to 70 wholesale deals with those investors.
Who were you working with?
So initially I was with Keegley, franchise of that business.
I'm sure a lot of people that might come across this probably know.
Like
from
Jamil, Pace Morby, Cody Sperber, guys like that. Ryan Zolan is another one. Carlos and Vic.
Yeah.
All those types of guys doing, you know, the fix and flips and whatnot. You know, met a lot of those good guys. And then we had a mutual contact, kind of got us in touch. And it was a perfect storm of, you know, I was kind of exiting that realm. And then, you know, you were looking to bring on an acquisition guy that is good on the phones and, you know, not afraid to get a no. And, you know, we paired up from there. And it's been a learning curve for sure, learning patience. But
How to make commercial calls a little different than
Yeah.
than residential calls.
It's a little bit different, and the timeline's definitely different. Different motivations and whatnot, and it's just about. I feel like it's finding those pain points and figuring out how to work with someone on a deeper level than just a cash offer.
A lot of repeat opportunities.
100%.
Versus like the residential world where it's more likely to be one deal and then maybe you don't work with that person again.
Right. The one and done.
Not the same in the commercial.
Not at all. I mean, a lot of these guys, I come from a space where, cash is king. People
hustle and grind.
Right. Hustle and grind. People want to get in and out of these houses for whatever reason, divorce, probate, foreclosures, things like that. A lot of the guys in the commercial space, they're not in a rush. They got a cash printing business. Why would they sell? So learning to figure out, different objections and how to service them best to where, we could create an equitable transaction. I think that's been the biggest takeaway is learning how to communicate with those types of people. And I definitely see the long-term growth as well as the long-term vision for, growing this company to something big.
So when I started Hungry Investments, like you said, we had some mutual contacts. The first thing I did, and Phil can probably relate why we like to have another person. I mean, our time can get sucked up real quick, just
Absolutely.
with emails alone.
Yes.
And when we get into the development side of these deals, just the amount of due diligence review and like having to juggle and wear 5 different hats, lender, financing side, underwriting, construction, negotiation, all that stuff. We need these guys to help us continue to keep the pipe full, assist with things that we're doing on the day-to-day basis as far as, hey, can you get this drafted and get this sent out? And would you mind following up with this, person that we're working on over here? So I needed somebody like that. And I talked to 3 people. And ironically enough, his name was brought up by all 3 people. Oh, dude, you got to get a hold of Armando. Armando's a dog. I was like, who's the best person you guys know? I knew that the Keegley shops were closing.
Yeah.
That's what they said. And I was like, okay, I know those places got a lot of people that do nothing but pick up the phone and call. Who do you guys recommend I reach out to? Armando Delgado. I reach out to this guy and meet him at a Starbucks.
Yeah.
He rolls in with his little military backpack. I'm like, okay, he's a good looking guy. It's good shape. It's very clean cut. And I'm like, you want to learn commercial real estate? He was like, yeah. What do I got to do? And then that's where it kind of came built on it from there. So I would say that we've got a pretty good team between, Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, want to catch the entire episode of this Rent Stew podcast, click right here. If you're loving the Rent Stew podcast and you want to see more episodes, click right here. And as always, stay hungry, my friends.